In the dusty streets of Bamako, every corner you turn to, there is a group playing football, whether on a football pitch or even in a parking lot. Football is almost like a religion. It is in these dusty back streets of Bamako that we find the most successful club in Mali, Djoliba Athletic Club. Formed in 1960, it's a product of a merger between Africa Sport Bamako and Foyer du Soudari. The two clubs were the most successful during the French colonial rule. Djoliba means the Great River in the widely spoken local Baramba dialect, and the name comes from the Great River Niger that passes through Bamako. The club shifted its base to their training complex in Heremakono, right in the heart of Bamako. Club president Karunga Keita has been with the club since 1960. He played for African Sport and continued at Djoliba when it was formed.
I played in this club before to go in France to study in France. I played 2 years here. When I go back from France, I was the coach of this team.
At the training complex in Heremakono, every training session has almost 300 players, right from the juniors, the cadets, the reserves and the senior Djoliba team. How do they all train at the complex? The grounds are expansive with 8 complete football pitches. Each team has a set of coaches who consult on the development of each set of players. It is a huge financial burden taking care of all the players and the coaches involved. Due to the huge financial burden and lack of adequate sponsorship, Keita established a business for the club. The Hotel Bamako Plage is a 4-star tourist hotel right on the banks of River Niger. It is one of the best hotels in Bamako and has a huge client base from tourists to other clubs who need camping facilities for visiting teams or their own teams. It sits within the training complex of Djoliba. Of the hundreds of players that come for every training session, 40 players are on professional contracts with the club. One can always estimate the number of players at the senior team training session by the number of motorbikes at the parking lot, motorbikes being the preferred mode of transport in Mali. They form the senior team that plays in the 16-team Premier League of Mali. Each season, players are sold abroad, giving the club additional revenue.
Oh, many, more than 100 players.
The other players, right from the juniors to the reserves, are the feeders for the senior team. Djoliba have a culture of grooming their own and very rarely go for players outside the academy. In the 25 years of the academy's existence, the players acquired from other clubs and academies do not exceed 5. Djoliba is in the process of reclaiming their glory after a dismal performance last season.
Last year we have a coach who was not a good coach, but he is not here. So we have a new coach this year, and we think that we shall win Champion Cup and African Cup.
When Keita was the coach of the team, Djoliba played Gor Mahia FC in the quarter-final of the CAF Cup Winners' Cup of 1981.
We win Bamako 2-0 and Nairobi we lose 1-0. It was a good team, In Nairobi, it's very cold for us.
In the recent past, Djoliba had the most successful year in 2008. They won the league and the cup double over their crosstown neighbors and bitter rivals, Stade Malien. Just like in any other country, in Mali there are 2 clubs that are very famous. Djoliba FC and Stade Malien are 2 of the equivalent of Gor Mahia and the FC Leopards back in Kenya. It's a club with a lot of history, and many clubs in Kenya would learn from this club that started from humble beginnings. Such a huge club, the structure is not different from Gor Mahia and FC Leopards. They have an elected executive on a 4-year term for consistency. Membership is also by registration. In the Mali national team that finished 3rd at the 2012 Cup of Nations, 5 players are a product of the Djoliba Academy. All teams are active in various leagues and tournaments. Transportation is also not an issue. The team owns 2 buses that serve their needs. This is a challenge to our community clubs to embrace solid structures that ensure prosperity other than political gains.